everything. Chris in Owensboro. Hi, you're on the Glenn Beck program with Pat and Stu.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm sure that Rand, the whole reason he's doing what he's doing is just because he wants to make a run for president in 2016. He saw personally firsthand what happened to his father when, he did not have the support of the Republican Party. They just shut him out. And I honestly think it's going to come down between Ted Cruz and Rand Paul, and Rand just wants to make sure that he's got the Republican group behind him on that. And we know who Rand is. We know what he stands for. He's being chummy with him right now just so he can get to be president, I'm sure.
It's a little. I can deal with a little bit of that. There's a little bit too much lately for my taste, as of late.
Yeah, it's made me wonder if I do know who he is. I thought I knew who he was. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure anymore. I'm really not.
Well, keep in mind, too, that, I know he didn't support Matt Bevin, and he said he supported Mitch McConnell, but he never actually came out and didn't try and sell the Tea Party on Mitch McConnell. He knew better than that. People would ask him point blank, I know you're supporting him, but are you actually going to vote for him? And he would tell those people, I'll talk to you later.
I know. I struggle with this because what you've said, Chris, is true. His dad spoke out all the time, and it was never going to get anywhere with that. And Rand Paul obviously saw that occur. And I also think his policies are better than his dad's, in my opinion. I think he's closer to me, at least, than Ron Paul.
Well, on some things.
On some, I
appreciate the call, Chris.
On most stuff, overall. Point though is that you could deal with a little bit of this. You could deal with a little bit of the gamesmanship of politics. I understand that. There's a little too much going that way right now. And if what you said was true, Chris, the caller, that he sees this as a race between him and Ted Cruz, I think he's making a huge mistake. I don't think it is a race between him and Ted Cruz for the Republican nomination. You got to deal with Chris Christie and Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio and whoever else runs from the more establishment side. You might be going for our votes between Ted Cruz and Rand Paul, but there's a lot to contend with there. And if you don't have a base that is incredibly enthusiastic about you because you've gone down this Mitch McConnell road 500 times, you're not going to get anywhere. I mean, people will. You won't have the passion behind you. At least Ted Cruz will have the passion. I'm not saying we're to that level yet, but you get to the point where you start running the risk of losing people. We've had a lot of people today who've called and tweeted and emailed and said, I like Rand Paul a lot, but he's sort of losing me on this stuff. You got to be careful. I mean, how many times Eric Cantor just learned this lesson? What happens to you when you go down these roads of saying, well, look, we just have to have comprehensive immigration reform. It's just the thing we have to do.
Otherwise, we won't exist as a party. Well, you don't exist as a congressman anymore. Yeah. How about that?
That's what Eric Cantor learned.
Harry in Michigan, you're on the Glenn Beck program. Hi.
Hey, guys. As far as Rand Paul and voter ID, he's never going to get my support. I'm one of those people that they talk about all the time. Well, the poor can't get voter ID. I'm a blind man. I'm on Social Security, and I believe in voter ID. I've used it for years. It didn't cost me anything to get it. And so when they say the poor can't get it...
well, wait, how could
this call to say they're blowing smoke?
But, Harry, I don't know. You said you were... How did you possibly get an ID? How could that be?
I just got it.
How? What miracle happened in your life that you were able to somehow go somewhere and do something and then... ID came to you. How did that happen?
I just went down there and said I want to get a state ID, and I got it. And
You've got to be kidding.
Every 5 years.
Someone forced you to go somewhere? Can you imagine?
No, they didn't force me at all. I just went down on my own free will.
Yeah, but you still had to go somewhere.
That's fine.
It wasn't delivered to your home.
Why wasn't it tattooed to your forehead?
Yeah, I hear you.
Did you have to pay for it?
No.
No. Oh, no. You got it for free?
Yeah. Well,
so when they tell you they can't afford it, it's a lie.
Yeah, that's a total lie. I mean, and I think it was Kansas that dealt with this really straight on and said, okay, you say you can't get voter ID because it costs too much. In the voter ID law we passed, we are going to put a free ID in there. So if you can't afford ID, no problem. We will give you a free ID. And almost no one took advantage of it because everybody has it already. If you're a legal voter, you have ID of some sort. It's almost universally.
And yet, the Democrats still yelled about that. Yeah. During the Kansas debate, they were saying, well, but people still have to go and get it.
Yeah.
You're asking people to go to a place and maybe have to do something hard to go get it.
Not really even hard.
Kidding me?
Yeah, not even really hard.
You can't ask somebody who doesn't make $100,000 a year. Let's say they make $10,000 a year. They can't be asked to drive somewhere and get. Well, sometimes they don't have cars. Do they have buses in their town? Do they have feet that are attached to legs?
They have feet in almost every town, I've found, over the years.
Come on! You're not, to these Democrats, you're not supposed to have to do anything to be able to vote. It should just magically happen for you.
But you should need licenses for almost every other activity that you do.
Oh, including reproduction.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I mean, think about this. And then think about other things you have to have license for. Buying alcohol, getting cigarettes, opening a bank account, applying for food stamps, applying for unemployment, driving a car, getting on an airplane, getting married, adopting a pet, applying for a fishing license, going to a casino.
Do I really have to have a license to adopt a pet?
A lot of places you do have to have ID.
Wow.
You don't have to have a license.
Okay,
that's not an adopted
ID.
pet license, but you have to have ID. Donating blood, purchasing NyQuil. You can't go into a CVS and buy NyQuil without.
Yeah, because there's some component in
ID.
it that the wacky kids today can use to make. I don't know.
But
meth.
so, I mean, don't we consider voting to be more important than those things? I mean, I love casinos. I'm a fan. But I'm going to say that, it's more important that they make sure the right people vote than the right people are in there playing blackjack. It's an absurd line that we have. And obviously, the line is there for one reason, to get people without IDs to vote, to get people who are not citizens to vote for Democrats, period. That's the only justification as to why you would not require some sort of identification.